started taking meds, and it started triggering like episodes of like I couldn't focus. Like I got jittery. I was not able to sleep at times. Hey you guys, what's up? And I'm on here. Oh, what's going on with my voice? I woke up and I was coughing and sneezing, and allergies just took me out this morning. So I didn't leave the house until late. I'm actually going to get my nails done because it's time, and I'm going to run a couple of errands to talk to some people. I'm really just going to get some stuff done. Today is Tuesday, November 3rd, I think. And I got a bunch of errands I gotta run. But somebody commented on TikTok and asked me the story for how I found out I was ADHD. Okay, so my son is ADHD. I'm going to ask him, can I say that on YouTube? Because again, that's his personal business, and I don't want to be a bad parent. So he said, if he doesn't care, y'all will see this part. If not, y'all will not be seeing this part. But basically, it's a homochemical imbalance, and I was taking meds that was triggering. I started taking meds, and it started triggering like episodes of like I couldn't focus. Like I got jittery. I was not able to sleep at times. I started having other problems, which if y'all want another video, I can go into details of the other problems I started having. But basically, I started noticing something. Like I thought I was hyperventilating at times, and the doctor I was seeing, I was already seeing him for other things. And when I went in and he said to me, he was like, you seem a bit off. What's going on? I said, okay, well, let me ask this guy who I had been seeing from him for, I think, a year and a half. And he said, and I said to him, well, I have a friend that's experienced this and this and this and this and this. And I'm really concerned because, you know, at this point, I'm not paranoid, but I'm concerned. Like, even for me, and I wouldn't say I was shy because that's not my personality. I would say I was like, maybe I'm just being paranoid. So I said, my friend is going through this and this and this. And that's why I used the friend scenario. And he was like, okay, so, from what you explained to me, your friend may be experiencing, because certain things that I explained to him, it seemed like, and he asked her age, and I said, well, she's headed to her 40s. At the time, I was headed to my 40s. And I said, I didn't know, you know, I don't know what's going on with her. I'm just a little concerned about her. He said, at the time I was saying for something totally different. So for him to say to me, he turns to me and he says, oh, well, what do you do when you're going through those moments? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, aren't you ADHD? And I said, I'm concerned about my friend and you're bringing it up. He said, no, I'm trying to, you know, if she has not been diagnosed with ADHD, maybe she should go to her doctor and see if she's on the spectrum and all this. And I'm looking at this man like, you know, I said, this is how I explained it to him. Oh, I learned later on that I was that. So I personally didn't think that was her problem. He said, no, based on just the things that you tell me, it seemed like she's just finding out. So, and I know you're ADHD because I'm your physician. even though you have not said that. It's just based on, you know, you coming into my office. And I was like, mind you, now I had been seeing this guy for like a year and a half. So, and I don't mean like one appointment here, one appointment there. I was seeing him for like constantly for something else. So I had saw him in a span of like 3 months, like 6 times. So he knows me. Not like a doctor that sees you once a year. No, this man knew me because I was seeing him like 6 to 8 times in a span of 3 to 6 months. You get what I'm saying? So for him to say that, and I've always joked with him, and that's why he remembered me. He even remembered how to pronounce my last name. So it was just like, whoa. So yeah, I was shocked because I'm not asking for me, but I'm asking for me. And after I realized that I was ADHD, I kind of like made me depressed. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It was like another thing. Like, I was like, God, you really blessing me with these things. And I'm glad I didn't know when I was younger, because I didn't let my son ADHD be a hindrance. But being around ADHD, and I was in the school system in Miami-Dade, and the parents would automatically put their child on meds. And I would feel so bad for these kids, because literally meds just zone them out when they're that young. So I said, if I ever go through this situation, I'm never going to be on meds. I'm never going to allow my children to be on meds, because it really does alter their personality, like literally alter their personality. 1 minute they're so bubbly. As soon as you give them the meds, within the hour, not even the hour, 30 minutes, they're like zoned out. They're like zombies. And they don't pick back up that speed until like 3 to 4 hours from then. So, or start getting out of that fatigueness 3 to 4 hours. So I was very like, wow. I remember this child, not to go off subject, y'all guys know. I remember this guy, and he did not, I was at an opportunity school, believe it or not. They call it second chance school. They call it something else now. But an opportunity school basically means that this is the last chance for the child to be in a regular school system. This is that school where the child is basically at its end, and they can no longer be in a regular school system. After this, they would have to go through either another county, or they would have to go to I know it's called, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically a school that is for bad kids. Even though this school is for bad kids, but that school is for kids that is in like serious situations. Like, this is for kids that a lot of referral, they wasn't coming to school, so they're truant, and they just had a lot of fights and stuff like that, and they couldn't function in a regular school. But the last step is either homeschool, or that school that is totally, your child will be in like worser conditions, like, almost like a correctional facility school with the last step, basically. So this parent, I was trying to teach this child was 6, and this child was in the 6th grade at 16 or 17, and he did not know how to spell his name, and he did not know how to read. He would just spell his last name. So his name, I'm not even going to give you his name, because maybe he'll watch this, or I don't know. But I just remember this little boy learning how to say "I ran" on his own, and his mom had him on meds, and she was getting a social security check for this little boy. And I remembered that this little boy was zoned out, and when I started to get him to function even on the meds, this lady was getting like $700 back in the old days. That had to be like 2000 and I would say literally 2002, 2003. She was getting like $700 in Social Security check for this little boy, and she would give him $50 so to take the meds. So she's paying him to take the medicine, and I was just so hurt for this little boy. Like literally, I was hurt. And I was teaching him how to read. I used a lot of my one-on-one time because I was a reading coach back in Dade County Public School. I was a reading coach assistant. Let me clarify that. So I was doing small groups and I was doing one-on-one session. And I was doing one-on-one session with him, and this little boy started reading. Like literally, he was on a kindergartner's reading level, and it was just so exciting to him. And he was picking up books and he was just reading. And the mom basically didn't want me to be his in the classroom with him because she was like, this is gonna trigger my check. And that made me so sad as a parent, because I'm like, wow. So that's another reason why I could not take the school system anymore, because I felt like you try to be impactful, you try to help, you try to build, you try to make sure every student is, you give your all. And if the parent don't agree with what you're doing, they can actually move their child. So after that session, I remember this little boy. I have the worst memory, but I can remember this little boy, last name, first name, his age. I think I remember his birthday. This little boy was like, I wonder I might look him up after this, but this little boy was like so impactful in my life that I was like, I made a change. And then this parent come and like literally say to me, I don't want you to change my son for a check. And that was like disheartening. Even the principal was so surprised that this little boy he knew his alphabet. He knew 3-letter sentences. He knew how to pronounce words. And I had only been working with him for about 7 months. And I had that much of a change. And he was like, and mind you, he is a genius. This little boy knew how to build. Back in the days, they had pocket bites. Don't ask me what that is. Go look it up. This little boy knew how to build and rebuild a pocket bike. I promise you. He knew how to put it together. If you and he was getting paid, they were giving him money to fix their pocket bike when something was going wrong with their pocket bike. Mind you, at the time, I think a pocket bike was either gasoline or electronic, but it literally, this little boy knew how to rebuild a pocket bike. So the engineering skills, he's good. He could do good in math if they pushed him more, if they gave him the opportunity. So I was so shocked when he told me, yeah, I rebuild like 3 pocket bikes, so I'm really tired. I was like, what? And at the time, I was so proud of him. I actually gave him a gift, and I was just so happy. Like, I had made such an impact on this little boy. And the mom got upset. So enough about that. But that's why I decided that if given the opportunity, I would never put anybody in my family, my kids, anybody that I know on meds, because it's alternative. And I know it for personally because I did alternative for my son. So that is how I found out that I was ADHD. So I'm just letting you guys know. I know y'all see me happier than that last video. That last video, I was zoned out. I literally was at my limits, and I'm happy now. One thing about depression, you have stages and levels. So am I still depressed? A little, but I have had things that happened to me in the last couple of months that's been very traumatic. So I've lost another relative, and I lost a friend. and it was her anniversary when I lost her a couple of weeks ago. So I've been trying to get where I need to be, but you know, that's another story. But thank you guys for coming to my channel. I appreciate you guys, and have a good day.